Let me show you how you can load an alphabet. Now, we're still in a design, and just to remind you, so you don't have to turn your machine off every single time, is to get out of a design you're in, touch the Stitch menu button in the top right corner. This will take you back out to the last screen you were at. Notice there's an arrow that points to the left. That's going to get you out of this screen. And again, an arrow to the left is going to get you out all the way back to the beginning. So our second folder has the name of font. Touch OK. You're going to notice that this is the Clarendon size 12 millimeters tall, 20 millimeters tall, and 30 millimeters tall. Now these are not the only alphabets that you can get your hands on. It's just the only ones that are built into your USB stick. So you'll want to check out the quick font option and the embroidery intro software that came with this machine, and you will have unlimited alphabets. You can take all the fonts that are in your computer. Yes, you've opened up a program before and seen that nice long laundry list of fonts. Those are all embroiderable. You just need the software, the free software, to go ahead and convert those into stitches, and then they'll come in and be able to do what I'm about to show you of how to load an alphabet. So let's just do the Clarendon 20. And so again, 20 millimeters tall. You'll notice when you're here, you get to a screen that has uppercase letters. If you would like them to be lowercase letters, you're looking for the A button here. That will turn them to lowercase. By the way, the last item on the line here kind of looks like an upside down staple to me. That's a space. So if we were spelling out Happy Easter, that's what you would use to separate the two words. Your alphabet button again also will take you to a third screen, and that means that there's numbers and symbols. So touch it again, and let's just go ahead and we'll spell out Jade. So we'll just go ahead over to the capital J, and then if I wanted to do lowercase alphabet, for the rest will come A and D and E. Now if I happen to put two E's in, you can go ahead and clear that out by touching the trash can, and that will clear it out. And I believe, yes, if we arrow down, so you don't have to stay just up here. If you arrow down, you can actually get in here, and then maybe we change that J to a lowercase j instead of an uppercase J. So you can go in and edit. You don't have to start all the way over. So let me show you that again. If my cursor's kind of down here, and wherever that is highlighted, I'm going to touch the trash can, that's a delete, and then hop back upstairs, and I'll put it back to the capital letter and touch the J, and then it'll insert it back in there. Now from this point, what you want to do is touch Program. P-R-O-G is the shortened version, but touch Program, and that's what it'll do, is take you into the embroidery screen. Now first thing it does, tells you which hoop it would fit in. If you do not own this hoop, you might like to, by the way. That's a size 80 by 80 is a nice small hoop size. That's how small this lettering is. So let's go over to the hoop option here and arrow to the right and put an OK. It's to select the hoop I have. This is the one that came with the machine, the 240 by 150. All right, so now what we can do is if we wanted to move that around, we can see where we are within that hoop. Remember, if we touch Alt, we could rotate it, and we could size it up a little bit down or make it longer. We can make them longer, shorter, taller, skinnier, and you can change that in different directions there. All right. So that would be, now notice that things are highlighted when they are actually not the default setting. So that is one way I can look to find out how to get it back to the normal setting that it originally came in as. So when you're ready to sew, you can go ahead and push your Start Stop button to embroider the letters. Let's go ahead and embroider the word Jade in this upper edge of the hoop. So I'm going to just take it all the way as north as I can, and we'll go ahead and do some stitching here. I'm going to hold this thread, and one last thing I like to do is kind of check the size or placement of this, and you can kind of see the 4 arrows pointing in each of the corners. So I can have the machine show me the outer 4 cornered edges of this design, including if I touch it a 5th time, so after going all 4 corners, the 5th time puts the needle in the center. So if I have a line on my fabric drawn for where I want the design to be, I can now move my needle over to the side, and then that would get me to be able to position it exactly where I want it. So let me just go ahead. I'll need to lower the presser foot and push start. It's going to just double check that I haven't put on any different hoop. That's why the extra movement there. It'll stop and have me cut my thread. I've got some curved scissors here to snip those threads away. Just make sure you don't snip the one that's actually connected to the needle. And you don't have to touch OK. You can just push start again and it will start to stitch. So Jess is going to do a fabulous job here. Again, take a look at our videos on stabilizer and make sure that you are stabilizing correctly to really get the look of the design to come out perfectly. Now you might be wondering, why did it just stop? Why didn't it do all the colors? Well, here's why. You can actually change colors and make every letter a different color. But the reason for it is because the stop button is lit. So it wanted to stop because you told it to. So when you do lettering, if you uncheck the stop, now it won't undo because you do need to touch OK on this screen. All right, then touch the stop button. Notice now the light is off. And now when I push start, you will notice that it will continue. All right, yes, I don't need to cut the thread. I'm going to just let it stay attached there, but I can push the stop button. Is now that it will finish out each of the remaining 3 letters without stopping. So sometimes that is considered like a monochrome mode where you can have it all stitched the same color. Embroidery is finished. You can touch OK, and let's take a look at our finished lettering. You'll notice that it did cut the thread at the very end. Love that. All right, and because we do have a few little stitches in the middle here, I want to show you how I trim. I take my curved scissors and push up against one side, and then what I want to do is actually pull up on this stitch. So if you need tweezers or just your fingernails, but then when you push down on those scissors, I'm going to try to do this while it's leaning here. Oh, here we go. There we go. The really key part is that you get a nice close stitch. If you don't do this, then your scissors don't often get all the way down to the very edge or the last stitch, and then it leaves a little nub, and that doesn't look good. So really take care in doing the trimming of your design. Now, let me show you something on the back here. When we look at tension, you want to be able to see the blue thread or your embroidery thread on the back side. So you notice that we see a little bit of white, that's the bobbin thread on the back side, but we see blue on both. And on the front side, we see just the blue and how smooth that is. So if you don't have smooth edges on your lettering, it's probably because your tension is not set right or your bobbin thread is just not in the tension of the bobbin area. So just rethread the machine and make sure it really needs to look this pretty when it's all said and done.